riffs are too repetitive, the lyrics make no sense. All the songs are B-sides and the cover art's a mess. There's so much here to tear apart. Listen to it for a week, now that week has passed. Here's Why I Hate This Album podcast with Tim and Garrett.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Why I Hate This Album. I am one of your hosts, Garrett Harvey. With me, as always, co-host extraordinaire, Kif to my Zap Brannigan, Timothy Richardson. Tim, how the hell are you, buddy?
I am half aroused, I guess. Here's the problem. I'm pretty aroused, but my hips are also very sore from sashaying around the apartment all week to a sensual, but per Gary's request, not sexual salsa beat. Salsa adjacent beat. Cha-cha, if you will.
I won't lie. There's nothing about what you've been doing this week that hasn't at least been overtly attempting to be sexual. So I don't
sensual.
know what to...
That's the
I would
problem
argue
with
it,
you.
It is not
You
sensual.
don't know the difference.
You know what, Tim? I don't. Well, let's explain that incredibly disturbing image you've painted with your word picture. Tim, what song have we been listening to and you have been allegedly seductively sensuously dancing to for the entire week?
We have been listening to the sensual, the hedonistic, the Dionysian Santana and Rob Thomas's single Smooth, released June 29th, 1999. Dear listener, this one is gonna get sexy.
Is it?
Yeah, I think.
Okay. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to put you on the spot. Moving on. Tim, I'm going to ask it because things have already gotten uncomfortable here in the studio. Do you hate this song?
Garrett, do I hate this song? If I'm being very honest,
do it.
I don't think so. I'm angry at this song. I really dislike this song. I never need to hear this song again. This has burrowed its way so far into my brain that it may never come out, and I've spent over 2 decades getting rid of this nonsense. It is back with a vengeance, and I do not care for it. I don't think I quite hate it, though. What about you, friend? Do you hate this song?
Unfortunately, Tim, we're going to start from the exact same place this week. I can't hate it. I think I would sure love to publicly state that I hate it, but I can't. I cannot do it. For all the same reasons you've said. And I'll tell you what, the worst part, and we stumble onto a situation like this from time to time, Sugar Ray comes to mind, but you get a song or an album that we spent 20 years getting out of our heads, only to have it put back with a vengeance, like making up for lost time. I mean, how many times would you say you listened to this song this week, Tim?
61, I think, if I'm not counting watching the music video, which...
And you shouldn't.
Yeah.
Fantastic, Tim. Fantastic. I mean, that's doing the heavy lifting, but I've got sad news for you. You've taken approximately 2 years off your life by listening to it that many times.
Oh, I do every week, Garrett. Every single week we do this show. 2 years. Come right off that life.
Wow, folks, get your friends to listen. There may not be many episodes left. I don't hate it. Tim doesn't hate it. That doesn't mean we can't get there together, and I sure hope we do. But before we can, we need to understand a little bit about the men who made the song and how it came to be. So, Tim, take us on a journey. Help us understand who is Santana or Rob Thomas. I don't know where this is going to go this week. And how did Smooth come to be?
Well, we've already done Rob Thomas, so I'm going to stick to Carlos Humberto the Jackal Santana Barragan, variably known, of course, as Carlos Santana, Tana, Santa, the Santan Man, the Tan Man, Diva Dip, the Lamp, Light, and Eye of God, or Carlos the Jackal, aka Iliac Ramirez Sanchez. He was born in Mexico.
I don't think he's ever been confirmed as the Jackal.
Sure he was. I'm pretty sure.
Was he?
I think so.
Wasn't he be wanted by several international communities?
I'm pretty sure that's where he was from 92 to 99. He's in a French prison. Anyway, he was born in Mexico in 1947. His dad was a mariachi. He learned to play violin and acoustic guitar from his dad as a child. And they were down in Mexico. They eventually moved to Tijuana, where he started playing blues and rock in local bars. And he sort of developed his own sound to some extent. And then once he moves to San Francisco with his family, that gets augmented by the kind of jazz and folk that is being played up there. Mm-hmm. In the 1960s in San Francisco, Carlo worked as a dishwasher and busked before he got a big break when Paul Paul Butterfield, we all know Paul Butterfield, got too drunk to play a Sunday matinee show at the Fillmore. Really classy move there. And Bill Graham had to kind of throw together an impromptu random band. And the Tan Man put on a pretty good show. The audience and Billy G were both pretty impressed. And Billy G kind of offered sort of to be his manager.
Sort of, though.
Right. He put together a band with some fellow buskers and street musicians that was originally called the Santana Blues Band. They started playing the San Francisco club circuit, doing this sort of Latin jazz, African blues, salsa rock that, Garrett, you might not believe this, but no one else was really playing that type of music. Surprising, I know.
Huh?
And then they got signed to Columbia Records. They changed their name simply to Santana and started recording their first album. Now, once those recordings were finished, they listened to it and were like, this is terrible. We need to change drummers, which they did. And then they had to replace percussionist Marcus Malone because he was convicted of manslaughter for stabbing a guy and had to go to San Quentin for a while.
Wait, what?
Yeah, he was the percussionist, Garrett. Now, fun side note, in 2016, Marcus Malone, a guy that stabbed a guy, was walking down the street in Oakland and a car was driving by and a tire just flew off that passing car and squished him non-fatally. He did die in 2021 of non-cartoonish means, however.
Great.
Anyhoozle, all of this pushed back their debut album, but they still ended up playing Woodstock despite no one really knowing their music because Bill Graham insisted that they play. And that was kind of their big break. Everyone loved their show. That first album was released a few weeks later in August 1969. That was really well received, and they followed it up the next year with Abraxas, I believe it's called, which I think I randomly have on vinyl. That was their first #1 record in the US. And that has it's got a bunch of songs anyone listening to this probably knows, probably most notably the Oye Como Va. And I don't know, probably should look that up. In 1971, they released Santana 3, which also hit #1. In 72, they had a bunch of lineup changes and got rid of Bill Graham from their management and released Caravanserai, which didn't do as well, but it was still eventually certified platinum. Santana then released a series of albums in the 70s and 80s with varying success and varying sounds, up to the universally Med Milagro released in 1992, which reached all the way up to that 102nd spot on the Billboard 200. That coveted 102nd spot.
Higher than we've gotten, Tim. Or lower? What? I don't know how to say that.
I think lower. And that was pretty much it. There was a few more live albums, and they had a more than frequent yearly series of greatest hits and other compilation albums. He was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1998, and he sort of settled into this elder statesman of rock and roll role.
Or did he?
Well, Garrett, the next year, he got the idea to do a collabo album in which each song there would be a guest singer or whatever. These
now, Tim, I have some inside scoop on the details here, if I may.
Please.
I don't want to impede. So it turns out for this album, Carlos Santana was tired of being the old guy, the elder statesman, as you put it, and wanted to get back with the hip scene, as they say. And so he invites Clive Davis to come see him play live, and which he does. We all know Clive Davis, classic producer and our man for all sorts of people and studios. Look it up if you don't know. Anyway, he shows up and he's like, God damn, I forgot how fucking good Carlos Santana is. And after the show, Santana's like, hey, did you enjoy it? He's like, fuck yeah, it was really good. He goes, make an album with me. I'm leaving my record label. I'll join yours. Make an album with me. And Clive Davis is like, cool, yeah, we could do that. One small thing. Half the album, you could do whatever the fuck you want. I don't care. Other half of the album, I'm in charge. You do what I say. You trust me, but you got to do what I say. Basically, he was like, you're not going to write any hit songs as evidenced by the last 25 years, but I can hire someone to, and you're very talented, so we can probably make this work. Long story short, at the exact same time, Matchbox 20 had just come off of tour, and I want to say his manager, Rob Thomas's manager, was like, or possibly a producer, I don't fucking know, but Rob Thomas was looking to become a songwriter exclusively. Not going forward forever, but he was like, I'm really fucking good at this. I'd like to do it for other people. So he gets hired. He writes this song. This other dude, Eats All Shore, writes the original version. He plays it, and they're like, no. They hire Rob Thomas. He redoes almost all the words, a little bit of the music. Then he records a demo, and I don't want to go too far into this, but basically Santana was like, no. And they had to beat him over the head with it 3 or 4 times. And then they were like, all right, I like it, but like, who should sing it? Because they weren't actually going to use Rob Thomas. They were going to use somebody else. And I don't know did you capture any of the people they thought about having sing this?
Well, yeah, Bobby T wanted George Michael to sing this.
Yeah, that would have been
different. I mean, This is also kind of bad because Rob Thomas sucks, but yeah.
I didn't know you were anti-Thomas.
We've done a Rob Thomas album, Garrett.
Mm-hmm.
We came down very anti-Rob Thomas.
I don't remember it that way.
I've seen him bite the head off of a pigeon. A live
moving
pigeon.
on. Slander aside.
Allegedly, I've seen
The views
this.
and opinions expressed by Timothy Richardson do not reflect those of Garrett Harvey or the Why I Hate This Album podcast.
Or Tim Richardson. To be clear. Anyway, so yeah, that's almost exactly what I was going to say.
I'm sorry.
Word for word. I almost feel like you stole my notes, but that's okay. So yeah, it's a weird thing. It's interesting that this song, the song of the week, was essentially Rob Thomas's idea. I assume that once it got into Santana's hands, once he decided to do it, he changed the music a bit because it's got a very Santana feel to it.
Allegedly, no. That was like one of the reasons he didn't want to do it. He was like, yeah, I've already written this song. I don't need to do it again. They're like, yeah, but it's like real good though.
Yeah, we've popped it up. Yeah, so but he got like what Dave Matthews, Everlast, CeeLo Green, Eagle Eye Cherry, Eric the Clapman Clapton for this album. And again,
Clapman.
Yes, we won't go into exactly how well this did or what people thought of it. I will save that for the end, but it did pretty well and people found it arousing, essentially. Then in 2002, he released Shaman, which also hit number 1 on the Billboard 200. He contributed to the 2004 Diego Luna film Dirty Dancing 2, Havana Nights, and then released more middling records up to October 15th, 2021's Blessings and Miracles. Now, honestly, for being in the music industry for 50 plus years, you really have to dig if you want any good Santana stories. He seems like a very nice, reasonable man, and apart from his percussionist occasionally stabbing a guy, the Santana experience is pretty mellow, which again is probably why he didn't die of a heroin overdose or some sort of speedball mix-up in 1971 like a lot of his contemporaries. He's a very good guitarist. He's written a couple good songs. Would be excellent in a band. Yeah, I like Santana. I like the guitar playing of Santana, I should say.
Yeah, that's the right way to say it. I was just going to say we're going to touch out of order today, but hey, I was going to ask, what is your general opinion of Santana? I think you just summed it up nicely. I'm kind of right there with you. It's not to say I dislike Santana, but I'm not like excited about Santana.
He would always be better to me if he was paired up with a better lyricist and singer, right? Like he's good at arranging and he's good at picking individual parts of different cultures' music and sort of infusing his weird blues rock thing with that much better than your Eric Claptons or a lot of other people. He's an excellent guitarist. He just maybe shouldn't be like, as much as this song is designed to be popular, I'm not saying he should have done that his whole career, but he should have had somebody that had just a little bit, I'm going to pump the brakes and we're going to make the song not exactly what you want. We'll do side B, you can do a full whatever you want Santana. On side A, we're going to have some actual like songs.
Dude, he has songs where he's just like, it's 11 minutes and it's only in Portuguese. And it's like, cool, nobody wants to hear that.
Right. And it's in Portuguese and the music is inspired exclusively by this Ghanan tribe I once saw. Okay.
I once saw massacred.
Jesus. Yeah,
it's inspired by the wails of the dying. Okay.
Yeah, and it's great. It's great. It sounds
but like
good.
infused with a Latin beat.
Right. Anyway, let's hear some of this song.
And it's a hot one, like 7 inches from the
It is sensual.
It is. Now, would you like to hear something that's sensual and Christian, Garrett?
No way.
All right, well, let's hear the Apologetics parody version, Truth, spelled Trooth.
And if you said this Bible ain't good enough for the real life world, so give it up.
Also pretty sensual.
My God, Tim, it's almost as good as the original.
It's as sensual as the original, but that's what I'm saying. Christianity has a very sensual savior.
I've seen like a shredded up Christ in acid wash jeans before, if that's what you're asking.
Yeah, the one you're talking about is
Billy Christ.
Yeah.
It's a guy near the old headquarters here that hangs out and collects nickels.
Yeah, great abs. His lats,
Shred City,
pretty goddamn good too.
And who are we to say he's not our Lord Lord and Savior. I don't know.
I feel like our Lord and Savior would have better traps.
Interesting. That's what's got you on the fence is
I'm a trap man.
I'll let him know. Maybe he can bulk up those traps.
Yeah, I'll worship him if he's
everlasting salvation.
He put an extra, just an extra couple of weeks into him. I'll probably worship him. Anyway, the music, it's a danceable, sensuous beat. The music overall, it's fine. It sounds like, as you alluded to earlier, Oye Como Va. This is something that he could have written musically in 1970. The lyrics are dumb, but they're fine, I guess. If he was singing this, it would be passable. You wouldn't even notice. This would be one of those songs you're like, yeah, it's an okay Santana song. It's fine. The problem for me, as always, is Rob Thomas. Bobby T. Don't care for him.
Really?
Yeah.
He's the same guy, or maybe I'm wrong. Isn't he the same guy? It's 3 a.m. I must be lonely.
I think so.
You didn't like that song?
No.
Gino, check the tapes.
I might have liked it. The point is I don't like him.
You didn't spend a good 5 to 9 minutes in the Matchbox 20 episode talking about how sexy Rob Thomas is? That didn't happen.
Garrett, just because I find somebody sexy doesn't mean I have to like them.
I guess. Joke's on me. All right. Sorry to slow down the train, everybody. I just think Tim's bullshit.
Listen, he looked great in the 90s. He really pulled off that kind of I don't care attitude, even though you're pretty sure he's spending hours on that hair.
Yeah.
But he's pulling it off.
Well, now since we're on it, we deviated from the music almost immediately, and we're just talking about the physical characteristics of one Rob Thomas. Let's get into it. To me, he's a mix of Zod and Chris O'Donnell, or possibly Scott Wolf and Chris O'Donnell and Zod O'Donnell.
Yeah.
Wolf. Party of Five, Scott Wolf.
Oh, yeah, no, I know. To me, he kind of looks like if Steve Zahn was cast as General Zod.
Okay. Yeah, he does have Zahn characteristics.
But it's all in the bangs, Garrett. You really have to be careful with the bangs. If you don't do them just right, and almost nobody does them just right, you just look like crap.
I would say men should not have bangs.
Well, I'm not going to go there. That seems excessive. The point is that if your bangs are not perfect, you end up looking like Jennifer Lawrence in the Don't Look Ups. I don't know if you've seen that, where she looks like she's auditioning for Dee Antwoord.
You know who else has terrible bangs? Courtney Cox in Scream 3?
No one's seen that.
What are you talking about? Everyone's seen Scream.
The first one.
Through,
and the second one, where it gets kind of meta.
But not the third and fourth and the new one?
Right.
Okay. She had fake bangs. Anyway, this is not a show about bangs, mostly. It's not a show about bangs, to be clear.
Yeah, we go where the subject matter takes us. Yeah.
Yeah. And sometimes it's a deep dive on hairstyles, particularly bangs on men.
Sometimes Garrett and I bang it out for a while.
No. No, I'm sorry. I misheard. Yeah, no, we'll just bang it out. We'll get into it, dig our heels in and bang it out till we've come to an agreement. And Tim, you know what? We're going to have to agree to disagree on this bang out. I don't think bangs belong on men.
Well, that's fine. This is why we're banging it out. You and I.
Yeah, listeners, write in hatepodmail@gmail.com, title it bang out. Almost not.
Yeah, draw a picture of Garrett and I banging it out on bangs.
Having a hearty debate on whether men should or should not have, wear bangs? Do you wear hair? That doesn't sound right, but I think that's the right way to say it.
It can't possibly be. Write in.
Yeah, listeners, write in, hatepodmail@gmail.com. Draw a picture of us banging it out and then weigh in. Do you wear bangs? Do you wear a hairstyle? Yeah, that sounds right. Anywho.
I think you have a hairstyle. You have bangs. You allow bangs to fall upon your forehead, even.
Bequeathed with bangs?
I don't know.
Bangqueathed? Okay, back to the music for a moment. It is detrimentally repetitive to me.
It works a little better with the music video because that implies that this song is made exclusively for the purposes of getting ladies to dance in a Coca-Cola commercial. Now, I'm getting ahead of myself, but
way ahead.
I think that I agree with you. If you're just listening to the song itself, it does feel repetitive.
Now, here's the secret, though. The beauty of that repetitive nature is that back when this song was first out, and by that I mean for the first 18 months it existed, if you were to turn on your radio, chances are this song was on, and you had no idea if it had just started or if it was about to end, because it never really sounds distinctively different from start to finish.
Right. It also has the effect where it feels like you can sing along with it the first time you hear it.
Oh, yeah. It does seem weirdly familiar, even though the lyrics are ridiculous. ridiculously stupid.
Right.
Even for our show. In fact, Tim, this is one of those rare occasions where the lyrics are completely coherent. Like, I'm not confused. They're just stupid.
Yes. I have some questions about what some of it means. But yeah, we'll get into that in just a second.
Yeah. Carlos Santana, excellent guitar playing on here. Rob Thomas, what do you think about his vocals?
Hate him.
Wow.
Yeah, I think
Did you notice the weird vocal effect on the verses?
Oh, yeah. I think it's very off-putting.
See, I don't mind it. I think you had to condense it. Otherwise, you get way too angsty.
Well, right. But like, I also don't understand. I don't know why Rob Thomas needs to sing this song.
Well, who else is gonna?
Well, I mean, listen, he's talking about what I assume is Spanish Harlem. He's talking about a very specific culture, and it's weird. Carlos Santana is the answer to your question.
Yeah.
If you just had him, just imagine him doing like a buddy guy, like where he kind of croaks this out. Maybe lose all of the Latin beats and just have it a straight little blues number.
Oh, that's a very different song, Tim. I think you're literally describing a different song. What if you had a young Ricky Martin sing this song?
Super in, Garrett. I cannot tell you how in I am. My hips have already begun moving. I have an almost completely shattered pelvis from my dancing this week, and I mean, that's now dramatic. It seems like I could sashay my way back into the living room where I dance.
Gino, get the hip restraints. He's getting weird.
I wish you would never. You bought the hip restraints before this week. You didn't need them then. What are they for?
They're for restraining your hips.
I understand, obviously. But that wasn't an issue until this week.
Right.
Why'd you have it in advance?
Tim, I have seen you at full tilt dancing before. Never for the length of time that I've seen you dancing this week, but I knew this day would come, and I began preparing, as I have, for several inevitabilities of being in your company. I'm kind of like Batman. I have to know how to destroy you.
Interesting. Is that why you have that sword hidden behind the drapes?
That's a different thing.
I feel like that's for me.
You're involved. But we're on the same side, if that helps.
I don't believe
There's demons among us, Tim.
Super in. Yeah.
All right, back to the song. Let's get into the lyrics. We've talked about the music. We've talked about the Rob Thomas. Can we talk about the words?
Absolutely.
I'll kick us off. Man, it's a hot one.
Let me stop you right there. Already Smart. Embarrassing. Also kind of arousing already. This song is embarrassingly arousing. I am embarrassed at how arousing it is, and then I am aroused at how embarrassed I am, because that's a thing I have. It's a vicious cycle.
That is a thing you have.
But this is a terrible intro, first line.
Here's the good part. Did you know that Rob Thomas is haunted by this line in his real life?
I did, yeah. Here's the thing, listener. If you ever see Rob Thomas on the street, go to him and say, man, it's a hot one, huh?
And here's the thing. He knows it's his fault, and so he'll be a great sport about it.
Yeah, but inside he's dying.
Yeah, but in a pool of millions of dollars. So don't cry for Rob Thomas.
No one's crying for Rob Thomas. We on this show and in our audience do not like Rob Thomas.
I want to say right here and right now, I might be friends with Rob Thomas.
I bet you are, but Garrett, here's the thing about you and friends. Oftentimes you don't like those friends.
You know what, Tim? This is the problem with you knowing me so gosh darn well. Garrett Harvey, fun fact. Sometimes I create friendships, long-term friendships, just hoping or really looking forward to and planning the day in which I get to just completely disappear from that person's life.
Yeah. It's
hilarious.
He plans friendships looking for the breakup as if he is either dating somebody or he's intentionally gotten a job he hates working for somebody that he just wanted to tell off. It's weird.
It's just one of those life bits. Anyway, song continues. Man, it's a hot one. Like 7 inches from the midday sun. And now I have to say stop. Boy, this is going to take a minute today. Is this a sundial joke or a horizon joke or a penis joke?
I think it's both a horizon and a penis joke, right? Because here's the thing. If you see on the horizon, the correct unit of measurements is fists, right? You put your fists up and you say that's 3 fists from the midday sun. I would have said
hand, but sure.
Sure, okay. 7 inches, though, that is, of course, a valid unit of measurement, but I think it's a penis joke.
I thought you were going to say that is, of course, a valid length of penis.
It is. It's not bad.
I mean, sure.
Hey,
not bad at all.
Hey, if you've got 7 inches on you, don't feel ashamed. That's good. You're doing good. Don't let anyone make you feel ashamed.
Stop pointing at me. This is an audio medium, sort of, unless, of course, you have found the feed, and please don't tell us about it. We don't care anymore. Find the feed. So, 7 inches from the midday sun. It's like 8 a.m.?
I don't know. I don't know the conversion between fists and inches.
Well, let's see. My hand's about, it's like 11 a.m.
Okay.
never mind.
No,
song
well, but I
continues.
think here's the thing. I don't think he's not saying 7 inches from the horizon. He's saying 7 inches from midday. So I think, well, I don't know.
Noon. So it's like 7 inches from noon.
It's hot outside. It's hot and it's sunny.
Oh, it's a hot one, and it's sunny. Fuck, I don't know. All right, the song continues. I hear you whisper and the words melt everyone, but you stay so cool. My Muñequita, my Spanish Harlem Mona Lisa. You're my reason for reason, the step in my groove.
I am uncomfortable with a muñequita thing, and it might be a cultural thing.
He's dating and will eventually marry what I believe to be a Puerto Rican woman.
Oh, that's fine. My problem is the fact that you shouldn't refer to your lady as a little doll or a muñequita unless you have some sort of Rivers Cuomo basement, or perhaps if you're making her into a doll a la Frances Dollarhide. In that case, absolutely. If you're putting mirrors in those eyes, you call her muñequita, you call her whatever you want, frankly.
Sure. I'm curious if that's a translation thing, because I saw that as well, and I don't want to nitpick, but I am curious. Is that just a translation thing? Like, does that just mean like my baby girl?
Well, right. Yeah, no, I'm sure it's, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm sure it's acceptable in the culture that apparently Rob Thomas comes from, but it shouldn't be.
Apparently comes from. True. I'm curious, Tim. I got thinking, if he hears her whisper and the words melt everyone, but she stays so cool, what do you think is the sexiest accent?
New Zealand.
No, it isn't.
It is to me. Garrett, this is a personal thing.
Yeah, but this is one of those instances where you say there are no wrong answers until somebody like you shows up and proves me wrong. That's the wrong answer.
Oh.
How many... It's the least arousing voice I've ever heard.
I disagree, I guess.
How about this? UK accent, one of the most and least sexiest accents.
I do like the really low-class UK accent.
You and I are going different directions today. I was going to say I like a super posh UK accent, and you're more of a, Bob, you know, but give your plums a twist, governor.
Yeah.
Sort of a...
Yeah, because it reminds me more of a New Zealand accent.
It's just a little bit closer. I hope you touch my breasts in vagina. Gross. It's horrible.
They say fanny flutters. Have you heard this?
Fanny flutters?
Yeah.
I know fanny is vagina. What's flutter?
It's like when you're attracted to somebody, you get like butterflies in your stomach.
Oh.
It's like that, but in your vagina.
Butterflies?
Yeah.
Huh.
Your vagina does like a little,
Ugh. South Park kind of did a version of that. Remember that?
Oh, God. But with children.
Yeah, well, I wasn't going to say that part. God damn it. Why don't you read some of the song?
And if you say this life ain't good enough, I would give my world to lift you up. I could change my life to better suit your mood because you're so smooth. Now, this is interesting because he is essentially promising to completely change everything about himself to please his partner, which,
yes,
again, we have discussed this at length on this very show. We actually published a scientific paper on this fact. That is completely insane unless that partner is a Hemsworth. Otherwise, you're a fucking psychopath, a liar, or some sort of incel. Stop it.
Or some sort of high school Garrett.
Right. Incel, psychopath, liar.
Hey, what? I wasn't an incel in high school. I was just bad with women.
Right. That's what I'm saying. You're bad with women to the point of incelitude.
Well,
I like that I said you were an incel, like you weren't having sex, and you skipped right over the liar and psychopath. That's you're fine with.
I was gonna get there, probably. I wasn't the best person in high school, but I wasn't an incel, because those people think like they deserve to be fucked just for existing. And that's not how that works. You gotta, demonstrate value, merit, or at least some sort of physical trait that might make you desirable in some way. And I failed in all those categories as a high school person.
Right. Failed, liar, psychopath, and incel.
No.
It's okay. Listen, we were all involuntarily celibate at some point in high school. I was
in conversation,
involuntarily sober for a good portion of high school too. That's why I'm now an incel.
My God.
Yes. And it's just like the ocean under the moon. It's the same as the emotion I get from you. He's using the ocean as a metaphor for his erection, right? Like
it's just like the ocean under the moon. Yeah. It's the moon is her body and it is pulling the tide of the ocean or his wiener towards her genitals.
Exactly. Yes. Just like the moon raises the ocean, so too this lady raises his penis. Or his mood.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe he feels better around her.
I think that's a pretty good metaphor.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm fine with it.
You got the kind of loving that can be so smooth. Give me your heart, make it real, or else forget about it.
Okay, we have to stop
First
here.
questions of the song.
Okay, go ahead.
What is he asking for?
See,
Give me your heart.
This is my question as well, and I actually think you are the perfect person to answer this question. Because I'm confused. Give me your heart, he means love me. Right?
Sure.
But the make it real part, that's my stickler. Or that's where I stick. Because I don't know if our listeners know this, and we've probably never discussed this on this show before. I certainly don't want to give any details of Garrett's personal life away that,
what the fuck
that he doesn't want out there. Garrett has privately confessed to me on a few occasions.
Maybe just don't finish the sentence. Why don't you just stop right now? I have no fucking clue. Oh, you know what? I can always cut it out. Go ahead.
Garrett has privately confessed to me on a few occasions that he has himself never found true love and doubts that he ever will, so he just kind of fakes it to make people happy. So this is why I think, Garrett, you are probably the best person to answer this question. When he demands that the object of his affection make it real, she obviously can't force herself to truly feel something that isn't there. So is he, like you, just asking her to pretend for his benefit and just never tell him otherwise, and he'll just assume it's real? But he, again, like you, can't feel love and has never felt love toward a significant other, as you've told me a number of times. And so he's just saying up front, listen, you just pretend. I know a lot of people are just pretending. Whether it's real or not, I don't care. Just don't ever tell me, and we'll both just pretend.
Interesting. A lot of interesting things have been said.
Thank you, I think.
A lot of private ayahuasca-induced moments that we definitely agreed not to share outside of that shaman's chamber.
I think it's okay. I think we're all friends here.
We are not. Officially, we are not. As of this moment. Friendship on hiatus.
Oh no.
You cannot be surprised by this. Anyway, back to the song, slander aside, give me your heart, make it real, or else forget about it.
Or else forget all about it. It's sung poorly.
Or great.
No.
So, give me your heart would be, obviously, hey, maybe just commit to me. Be in a monogamous relationship. Make it real could be, hey, we are 5 dates deep. You seem to be having a great time, but we're still hugging goodnight. Can we please progress things? Make it real. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I know what you mean with that. Yeah.
Fanny flutters.
Right.
Oh, yeah, he's got my fanny fluttering. Stupid.
They are stupid people. No offense to our New Zealand listeners. You are all great people and I love your accent. But, kind of dumb.
It is a very funny accent. You people seem very nice.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Your homeland's beautiful.
Yeah, also true. Back to your accusations that I'm dead inside and have never felt true love. It could also mean that maybe, Tim, he's been in a relationship with this person for a bit, but it's always been, she'll come over there or meet me at my house. They don't go out. They never have dinner. They only ever see each other past 11:30.
Make it official.
He wants, make it official. Make it real. Can I meet your friends? Why do you have me listed as dumb shit in your contacts? That's not nice.
So this is perfect. You were the perfect person to ask because all the things I set aside, what you're saying now is another thing you used to do where you would keep your worlds separate.
Oh, yeah, I do. Well, Tim, we talked about this last episode. Yep. I like to keep my worlds very separate.
Right. Because
what's wrong with that?
Well, no, I know.
Now you're making me the bad person. I see.
No. I think what you're doing is very smart because let's say you introduce me to a significant other and I say, oh, yeah. So has he told you about the fact that he can't love?
Or you have definitely done that before.
Yeah, right. So I'm just saying, I understand and I respect your decision to keep your world separate. It's smart.
Sure.
These are compliments.
I think for the purposes of the song, it's a negative thing.
Right. Assuming that the first thing I thought was not accurate, he does believe that she is just keeping him at a distance, I think.
Yeah, or hiding him from everybody because she is embarrassed.
Yeah, it's possible that this is sort of a race thing or ethnicity thing. Well, because he's clearly dating some sort of Latin lover here. Maybe maybe her parents don't like, don't want her to bring a white guy home.
Or a Rob Thomas.
Oh, yeah, maybe they're like third eye blind or better. And he's like, well, unfortunately.
What about Hootie? Can I bring home Hootie? What about the lead singer of Round Here? Mr. Jones. What about Adam Duritz? Is he better or worse than Rob Thomas?
If you're a parent, worse.
Okay. Yeah. Song continues. I'll tell you one thing. If you would leave, it would be a crying shame. In every breath and every word, I hear your name calling me out.
Yeah, it's some sort of telltale heart situation if she leaves.
Yeah, I was thinking kind of a mainstream baby it's cold outside situation. It'd be a shame if you tried to leave.
Well, but he kind of tries to turn that around because the next lines are, out from the barrio, you hear my rhythm on the radio. You feel the turning of the world so soft and slow. He's trying to do, I forget what the song was, but you remember it was the Plain White Tees, I think it was. Where
Delilah?
Yeah, where they wrote that song for that girl and then took her to the Grammys and she refused. She stuck by her guns and she just refused to date him. He's kind of trying to do that same thing here. Like, listen, I wrote this love song for you that's going to be on the radio and it's going to guilt you into, because your friends are going to be like, look, man, he wrote a song. It's on the radio. You kind of have to bang him. And she's going to be like, look, I don't, dude,
Bad
it's
friends.
on the radio. Like, you owe him that, right? That's what he's expecting.
Interesting. See, I read it as this is like his big closing argument because we're about to go back to the chorus and guitar solo and outro, which is weird. But like this is the big crescendo because he's like, I've listed all this stuff. My dick's like the ocean. Your body's like the moon. And this is the big crescendo. He's like, oh, right. By the way, did I mention I'm also the lead singer of Matchbox 20? Wanna bang?
Right.
Yeah. If the rest of that stuff didn't get you there, it's like, oh, by the way, I'm one of the most famous people in the world. You just don't know my name because nobody does at this point.
Yes. And in 3 more years, nobody ever will.
True. Then we get the chorus again. And that brings us to the guitar solo, which is great.
Yeah.
No problem there.
Santana is an excellent guitarist.
Mm-hmm.
He sometimes,
Not here
I will
to
say
badmouth
this,
the man.
he sometimes plays in styles I'm not a huge fan of, and he will sometimes, but it's always
good.
At least technically really good. And a lot of the time, I really enjoy it.
Yeah. Got no issue with Carlos. Well done, sir.
Yeah, and the other thing about him and his guitar playing is it's very distinctive. Hendrix had this. Duane Allman had this. Jack White kind of has this, where 3 notes in, you can definitely tell who's playing this song.
Yes.
And
very discernible style.
Yeah, Santana has that, and I think it's just because he brought all these influences in with him and just sort of mixed everything together. It's his own thing. Like, nobody else plays like Carlos Santana, for better or worse, and usually for better for him.
Yeah, I agree completely. Then we get through the chorus, through the outro, which is pretty much just a repeated, oh, else forget about it, over and over. But, Tim, I don't know if you caught this. At the very end, the ultimatum of give me your heart, make it real, or else forget about it, proves to be a complete bluff when she calls him on it. Because the last lines 4 times in a row are, let's don't forget about it.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Oh, let's don't forget about it.
This is a sexy Latin lady who does not give a shit about Rob Thomas. She sees those bangs. You can have all the money that you want. You're not spending it on your bangs, and so I'm out.
Yeah. Who the fuck do you think you are? He looks like what's his face from Gladiator? Joaquin. All right. That brings us to the end of the song and to quite the music video.
Yeah, this, I want to say up front, this is a sexy music video.
Yeah, I hate to ever agree with you, but I can't fight you on this one. It is arousing.
It's a little dangerous, too, because you will injure your hips and pelvis pretty severely if you attempt to dance to this every time you watch it. And if
Depends on how many times you watch it.
Well, if you watch it once, you're going to watch it a bunch.
I didn't know you could strain a pelvis.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's held together by cartilage.
Did the doctor tell you to wrap it in an ace bandage, or is that something you're doing?
Oh, that just makes it feel way better. It's compression.
Jesus Christ, you're sick in the hips. Do you want me to give us the fly through and you can pause me, or do you want to take it?
Sure, you go for it.
All right. The first thing I want to point out in this beautiful music video, and folks, really, do go watch it. It's adorable and sexy as shit. First thing I noticed, Tim, this baby's in 4:3.
Oh, yeah. This is 1999.
Yeah, we are not in widescreenville yet. We're clearly in what appears to be Harlem.
Or Havana.
Okay, fair enough, because a car drives by from 1954 with a woman in the passenger seat. The driver looked a little bit like Reese from Malcolm in the Middle, and Rob is in the street and chooses to eye fuck the shit out of this girl as she drives by.
I think that's his normal look. I think he does that to everybody.
Wow.
It is
how intimidating.
Yes. Yeah, he will. That's kind of his his thing. It was 99 and he was Bobby T.
Fair enough. So then we begin cutting between 3 distinct sets. One, Rob and Carlos in what I could never figure out. Is it a record store or a bar where they're jamming together and Rob has on a cowboy hat for some inexplicable reason?
Yeah, I did not care for that. I'm not sure what it is either. It's a green room. And I don't mean it's a green room. I mean it is a room that is green.
Right. The second scene is Rob and Carlos playing in the street as a band begins to appear and set up around them in what I think is Harlem.
Or Havana. It doesn't matter. In either one of those two places, if you start playing music, people will join.
Yeah, especially if it's good. Or this. I do want to point out that Rob Thomas in this setting is wearing some sort of silk Asian bowling shirt.
Yes.
Perfect. Now, the third setting, Tim, that we are cutting between constantly, after we've seen Rob and Carlos in the record store green room bar, and we've seen Rob and Carlos in the street jamming out in what may be Harlem or Havana, we cut to my favorite setting, a sweaty woman in an apartment that I am almost certain is exclusively housed within the Matrix.
Yes.
And she's so sweaty, Tim.
Yeah. It seems
It's a
like
hot one.
this song was meant far more literally than either of us thought. I thought it was hot and sexy, but I think this song is maybe just about being extremely hot. And the smooth part is just about trying to play that off. Like you've been in this. You're in a meeting at work.
Oh, yeah.
And everyone else there is fine. The AC is on. It's 68 degrees. Everyone's fine. And you are just sweating through your coat, sweating through your pants. You get up from the seat. It's like you've been working out.
It's sad but true.
Right. But you play it off smoothly. And I think that's what this song might actually be about. That and erections.
It's just hiding your erection and perspiration.
Yes.
The two aren't related, but are often correlated. I don't know, Tim, did you notice the weird appearance of dominoes throughout the music video?
Yes, and that is, again, a feature of both Spanish Harlem and Havana.
God, good call. Then we do a lot of camera work that's very close up on Carlos's guitar and Rob's face. A lot of Carlos guitar, Rob's face. Guitar, face, guitar. But never the opposite. Well, one, because Rob doesn't have a guitar, and two, because we don't need to get close to a 60-year-old man's face.
Yes, and I already put a bunch of pictures on the Instagram of this music video and these two and their respective looks, and
neither is great.
No. Carlos Santana looks genuinely uncomfortable, and I mean uncomfortable possibly because he's sweating too much. It might just be too hot.
God, this song really might just be about being too hot. Interesting. All right, well, the music video continues, and people begin to gather in the streets as the band plays. As Tim pointed out, it's undeniable. You gotta do it. And the sexy woman, who we learn is in her underpants, because, it's very hot, is lured out the window to investigate, and then begins to dance in her Matrix room seductively for no one but us.
Right.
And it's cool.
Yeah, no,
I'm
it's
into it.
It's sexy.
Very sexy. The party on the street becomes more absurd, and you can see the professional dancers beginning to compete to see who can get the most camera time. And it's honestly, watch the music video, then watch it again to watch these professional dancers try to subtly lock down the camera and be like, check out this sweet move. Producers, please hire me.
Yeah, it's shocking that no one throws or trips somebody else and dances in their place.
Yeah. Eventually, this all just comes to a head, and the sexy woman from the Matrix cannot deny herself, and she emerges to join the party on the street, and she dances aggressively seductive at Rob Thomas.
As one does. That's the only way to dance at Rob Thomas.
I guess so. Well, I mean, if he's looking at you like that, you got one of two choices, fight or flight. And I think you fight that look with a seductive dance.
Yeah.
Tim, how did this do?
Well, Garrett, that is a very complicated question.
Is it?
It is. This was a #1 single in the US and Canada, number 9 on the E3 Austria Top 40, number 30 on the Belgian Ultra Top 50 Flanders chart, number 12 on the Finnish Suomen Virallinen Lista, number 31 on the Islenski Listen Top 40, number 18 on the Swiss Schweizer Hit Parade, and number 37 in the Dutch. Now, in the US, it was the second best-selling song of 2000. It was allegedly the 41st best-selling song of the 90s and the 33rd best-selling song of the 2000s, according to Billboard. Allegedly, as of the 60th anniversary of Billboard, and you can check this, there's a Wikipedia link, and it's got this whole list on Billboard's website. According to Billboard, the 60th anniversary of the Hot 100 chart, it was the second best-selling song. Second only to Chubby Checkers' The Twist. It beat out Party Rock Anthem by 4 spots. It beat out Ed Sheeran's Shape of Water by 7 songs. That's shocking.
That seems impossible. What about WAP? Where's WAP?
Well, maybe it hasn't got there yet. This sold 1,200,000 plus physical copies and another 500,000 digital copies in the US alone. But Garrett, the album, oh my God, Garrett, the album, Supernatural, a record by a then 52-year-old Carlos the Jackal, criminal mastermind.
Nope.
Who had just been inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame the year before, sold at least 11,800,000 certified copies in the U.S. alone, making it officially an undecoupled platinum album, a diamond album. But if you go by claimed sales, it is a quindecoupled platinum album. This may have sold more than 15 million copies in the U.S. alone. Worldwide, it has sold over 30 million copies, and it depends if you go by the certified or the claimed sales. If you go by the certified sales, it is the 20th best-selling album in history.
What?
And if you go by the just claimed sales, it's the 31st best-selling album in history. It's just behind Nirvana's Nevermind, just ahead of Guns N' Roses' Appetite for Destruction. It's ahead of Elton John's Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. And, Garrett, the album, importantly, also hit #1 in the Dutch. But all of this means that this song, more than 32 million people, bare minimum, 32 million people, bought something that had this song on it. And this was in kind of the heyday of the Napster and LimeWire. So
True.
I'm sure a fair number of people also downloaded it. Again, just thumbing their nose at the goddamn Jackal, one of history's most notorious terrorists. And the song won 3 Grammys, Record of the Year, Song of the Year, and Best Pop Collabo with Vocals. The album won 9 Grammy Awards in 2000. That broke a record held by Thriller.
Come on!
Harlow himself, personally, that year, won 8 of those Grammys. I guess one went to like a producer or something, which is tied for the most ever, I believe, with Michael Jackson. He also won that same year 3 Latin Grammy Awards at the first ever Latin Grammys, which is confusingly a different thing, but may have been created just simply to honor him solely.
We have to give this guy more Grammys.
Yeah, it was a pretty good year for the Tan Man, is the point.
That's amazing. Yeah. I had no idea. Wow. So that's the most interesting How Did It Do ever. What did people think of it?
Well, we don't have a Robert Christgau review. However, he did listen to this album, and instead of giving a full review as one would expect, he just gave a choice cut, a song that he liked from it that he thinks you should listen to, which weirdly is not this song, it's Put Your Lights On.
Do you happen to know who guest stars on that?
Yes, Garrett, I do. It was Everlast.
That does not surprise me somehow.
Well,
God, Christgau.
So there's also 399 total ratings for this song on Amazon, 4.8 out of 5 stars on average, 84% 5-star, 1% 1-star. The first review I have for you is from 2015. It's by The Pastry Harlot.
Okay.
I love Rob Thomas. I love Santana. This song reminds me of being young and thinking I was cool. I know that I wasn't, but sometimes nostalgia is best left at home in your apartment where no one can hear you sing this song. Of course you still remember all the words. It played on the radio every half hour or so for a year. After seeing Santana in a 200-person crowd setting, I can tell you that I still love this song, even if it wasn't Rob Thomas joining him to sing. 5 out of 5 stars.
Weird. I mean, this guy kind of gets it. Like, he's embarrassed to love this.
Yeah, definitely. L. Smith in 2014 said, I highly recommend this cut featuring Rob Thomas. Santana brilliantly ushered in the youthful, fresh, and complete talent of Thomas and his vibrant virtuosity. I will always love Carlos and his masterful riff like none other, and Rob is like icing on the cake of my day. 5 out of 5 stars.
Wow, that lady's just beating off to this video.
Well, yeah, I mean...
A lot of people are, I guess.
Ed Bookman, 2013, funky groove, cool horns, very Latin, awakens the Latin lover in all of us. Very fun and easy to listen to. 5 out of 5 stars.
Wow.
Ed's fucking to this song, right?
Ed Bookman. Sounds like a homicide detective.
Yeah, but he's making love to this song.
He's putting on
he's listening to the song while he makes love. He's not actually making love to the song.
Right. Well, maybe in rhythm.
Yo, sure, yeah. Kindle customer, 2020. I bought this for my parents. They have been married 57 years.
Gross.
My mom sings it to my dad. 5 out of 5 stars.
That guy is picturing his parents fuck, or at least the way you read it, he is.
Well, if he's listening to this, he's definitely going to, because his parents are fucking to this song.
Gross.
B. Slavic, 2014. This is such a great song.
Why are you reading them all like this?
I like when athletes use it too. Just a classic and always will be. 5 out of 5 stars.
I like when athletes use it too.
Yeah, I don't know what that means.
Like as a walking out song?
Maybe. I mean,
That's
you shouldn't,
weird.
Unless your athletics is
very good.
Yeah, fair
or
enough.
some sort of nude wrestling. Remember that weird leather pants Turkish wrestling thing we saw that one time?
Nope.
Me either.
Pamela J.C., 2015. This was a brilliant and unexpected duo. For someone who does not like love songs, found it hanging in my head like mistletoe over the door of the dead in the plague. Unforgettable. 4 out of 5 stars.
Like mistletoe over the door of the dead in a plague?
Yes. Also, that
Common
was
expression.
from 2015, pre-plague. I don't know what plague she's talking about.
God, there's no door of the dead.
Those are the words of a man who has never found the door of the dead. A door that you open it and there's dead people on the other side, and you can either go in or you can close it and turn around and never go back.
Who would go in?
A lot of people.
Your story does not add up.
From Genius Lyrics, we have one review from Vinetic 1980. Girls get turned on listening to this track. A masterpiece.
That's it?
Fucked me.
Okay, nice. Tim, I have a review.
Oh.
I have a review that we might have to delete after I read it.
This is your sister's review.
No.
Oh,
What?
Sorry, I just assumed it would be your sister. Your father.
Why?
I don't know. I haven't
They're
heard
not
the
related
review.
to me.
Okay.
I'm not even going to read the person's name.
Okay.
This person writes on YouTube for the music video of Santana featuring Rob Thomas's Smooth. My husband was a Santana freak. This was his favorite song. He would turn this song on every morning at 5:30 a.m. to work out. He had lots of Santana that he would play in a loop while he worked out. He's been gone 3 years now, and how I miss him. This video brought me right back to those mornings that I was awakened to Santana's fantastic guitar. Thank you for this sweet memory. What?
What? No.
And then there are something like 600 comments of people reaching out and offering condolences to a stranger who put this story on a music video for Santana's Smooth featuring Rob Thomas.
Yeah, I get it.
I do not.
Oh.
None of that makes any sense, Tim. If you find yourself doing this, seek therapy. You need someone to talk to.
This is why you don't go to YouTube for those reviews.
You do it constantly.
Yep.
Tim, who's this for?
Lovers, Garrett.
Well played. It is for lovers. Final thoughts then. We've been all the way through it, talked about the music video, read the seductive reviews that you read. Anything you want to say that we didn't?
I would just like to say, don't sell yourself short. Your review was not seductive.
It was not. It was
Agree
about
to
a widow.
disagree. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't understand your review. That's sad.
He's been gone 3 years now, and how I miss him.
Maybe he just abandoned her and is out having sex with people that like Santana too.
Oh, maybe. Okay. That's much more fun. Still weird. But no, he's definitely dead.
Oh.
Anyway, we've been all the way through it, Tim. This is the part of the show where we got to ask the question. And unfortunately, I think I know your answer. After having talked about it, do you hate this song?
Ah, Garrett. No with a but. Don't listen to the song after 1999 or 2000. Unless you're, well, here's the thing. Unless you're trying to arouse somebody. If that's the case, have at it. But don't listen to this song. It's not a good song. It's recycled Santana and it's Rob goddamn Thomas. Nobody wants that. Nobody. Nobody. But I don't quite hate it. What about you, Garrett? Do you hate this?
No, I don't hate it. And in fact, Tim, you've opened my eyes to the eroticism of this song. I do think that it is more erotic than when I began. And I'll probably watch that music video again on mute a couple of times. Certainly don't hate that. Anyway, that brings us to listener mail. Would you like to go first or would you like me to?
I would like to go first.
Alrighty.
Yes. Really, I have two. One of them is very quick. I just want to mention this. This is by OGC. And OGC claims that he wrote in earlier. We did not get that email. I searched our Gmail. But OGC, first of all, he's very, I assume it's a he, is very into his clever title, OGC. If you kind of turn it on your side, turn your head to the side, it's a guy masturbating. Yeah, try it.
I'm good.
Okay. He wrote in to let us know there is a website called Ace Linguist, and it's a blog that focuses on phonetics and songs, and they have a very detailed history on the "it's gonna be May."
Oh, right, this guy.
Yeah, and so if you go to Ace Linguist or Google Ace Linguist, it's gonna be May History. You'll find this, and they do essentially what Garrett is trying to do with guitar solos in the 80s and how that evolved, but with May.
Right.
Anyway, my actual email, Garrett, this is by Nate. The October breeze blows on glass. The four conjoining walls form a transparent cube. The box, which has to be at least 10 feet tall, is filled to the brim with wax. Black wicks rest on the sides of the box. In the middle of Times Square, this box rests. It doesn't take long for the police to arrive. And soon, they zone the area off from the public. That won't stop the hordes of people, causing the surrounding streets to be packed with cars, doors opening as people step out. Everyone is eager to see the new attraction. Soon, the pickaxes start swinging against the tough acrylic. It takes a few minutes for them to crack the glass. Pretty soon, they have a nice little hole broken in the box. A few cops start excavating the wax from inside. It crumbles with every scrape. After some more swings, the cop with the nose ring tells the others to stop digging. Nose ring has made a big discovery. There's something else besides wax in this contraption. In the next hours, the police use blowtorches to melt the wax at a rapid pace. The wax slithers out, leaving bodies covered in white at the bottom of the box. On-site paramedics cleared the wax off of 5 corpses, and eventually the police identify the victims as those who disappeared earlier this year. The preserved bodies look as if they have not aged a single day, with no signs of rot. It won't take them long to find my other attractions, to find the other bodies. However, I am still upset that they never lit the candles. This is by Nate, aka Smarter Than the Average Nate. He's on YouTube or Instagram or something. He's writing us terrifying stories and might be killing people. Nate, Jesus Christ.
God, I really wish that was like an unusual email that we get.
Yeah, no, people write to us all the time telling us about how they've killed people and where they've hidden the bodies, and we just delete them.
Yeah, we can't be held responsible for that. She was touching her face.
That's right. Anyway,
great email, Tim.
Garrett, do you also have an email you'd like to read seductively?
Of course I have an email.
Would you
the
like to
segment's
read
called
it
Listener Mail.
seductively?
I don't think I should.
Okay.
My email's from Miaz. Miaz?
Meows.
Meow. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Anyway, the reason I chose this one, Tim, it's not the usual type of email that we would select for the listener mail segment, but this listener really, and hey, maybe they're a viewer, I don't know, but this listener really seems to get it. Miaz writes, currently listening to the 2021 year in review episode and reminded myself of something I've been meaning to tell you. Almost 4 years ago, you told us to keep an eye out for a Maynard James Keenan related episode. I have to tell you, the eye I've been keeping out has shriveled up and died. It no longer works. I got a cool eye patch though, so hopefully we get to hear one of those in the year 2022. Let me suggest an album, and this comes from an actual Tool fan. Well, the first 3 albums. Do 10,000 Days. Fear Inoculum is worse, but only because it is boring as hell. 10,000 Days will be another D. Antwoord style episode, whereas Fear Inoculum will be another Carrie Underwood. I know,
that can't be right.
I know, and you do too, which episode is better. Tim's a sucker and all that. Batman, Batarang, your one-eyed pal, Miaz. Miaz, you just get it. That's the perfect email.
Should we
change the schedule?
Yeah.
God, the last time we did it really bit us in the balls.
Yeah, but people have requested this so many times.
But it's like 70 bajillion minutes.
10,000 Days. They want tools.
There's
they
2
want
11-minute plus songs.
They want the Maynard, Garrett. We're going to do Coldplay, but we'll announce it at the end. We're either going to do the 10,000 Days or the Coldplay album that has yellow on it.
Yep.
We'll see.
Tim and I will determine that between now and the end of the episode in a way that will be completely indecipherable to listeners, but very obviously wrestling to viewers.
Like
Find
wrestling.
the feed. Right. That brings us to music news of the weird. Tim, would you like to go first or would you like me to?
I would love it if you would.
Okay. That's still weirdly combative.
Music news of the weird.
I'll begin with our good buddy, friend of the show, Neil Young. He posted a since-deleted letter to his management team and record label demanding that they remove his music from Spotify. Quote, I am doing this because Spotify is spreading fake information about vaccines, potentially causing death to those that believe the disinformation being spread by them. Please act on this immediately today and keep me informed of the time schedule. Neil continues, quote, I want to let Spotify know immediately today that I want all my music off their platform. They can have Rogan or Young, not both. Young's letter was addressed to his management and a Warner executive.
Now, here's the thing, because one would think no one could possibly have a contract with Spotify that would specify people, individuals, that you can have this person or you can have me. I can invoke that clause at any time. I've actually read Neil Young's contract with Spotify. Rogan's one of the people he lists.
Sounds like Spotify's hands are tied, allegedly, based on a contract that may or may not have been the actual contracts Tim has been known to read forgeries. forgeries.
Yeah, and write forgeries. I'm a
I was
forger.
going to say self-produced forgeries.
Yep.
Tim, it's kind of interesting. You and I are not Spotify people. We are weirdly Amazon Prime Unlimited people, which certainly has its drawbacks, I will say. But one of them will not be the lack of Neil Young.
Yeah, but there is a very good benefit to this. The more money we give Jeff Bezos, the more likely it is that he will die screaming and on fire in space. And
There's a very good chance.
I want to contribute to that.
You heard it here first, folks. Now, Tim, I don't really give a flying fuck what Joe Rogan says anywhere. I think it's kind of up to people with common sense to go, maybe I'll listen to a doctor and not a bald guy on the internet. But it is kind of interesting, and allow me to play devil's advocate, although I don't think you're going to give me much of a fight on this. If you were to look at the pantheon of topics in songs on Spotify, I would imagine Neil Young has a number of issues with various artists. It is sort of weird to say, hey, just this one person can't say ridiculous shit when thousands of other people on the exact same platform say, as we've pointed out in almost 250 episodes, ridiculous shit.
True, but he kind of also had the same relationship with Nixon.
Oh man, when's gonna be the Kent State equivalent to the Rogan ballad?
Ooh, it'd be fun.
Yeah. Tim, what news story did you possibly steal from the internet today or make up?
Well, Garrett, in the best Avenger news, the only Avenger to ever get his own episode, that is until, of course, we do an episode dedicated to how Terrence Howard doesn't understand math, for no other reason than I think everyone should know everything there is to know about Terryology.
It is fascinating.
Yeah. Sentient duster and scarf combo, as well as alleged nibbler,
We will bleep it.
Jeremy Renner, the Ren Dog himself, is officially the highest paid Avenger. He is in
That doesn't sound right.
3,018 seconds of Marvel movies, which is about 50 minutes. And he's been paid over $50 million for his time. That works out to $16,671 per second he is on screen. Now, the second highest Avenger, Robert Downey Jr., the Down Dog, makes only $15,083 per second he is on screen, although he has approximately 7 times more screen time. And so I did a little bit of math, and a pretty nice duster that I believe Jerry would find acceptable, and that is currently being shipped to our world headquarters as we speak for me to wear tomorrow, costs about $1,500. So the Ren Dog can afford 30,000 dusters with enough money left over for 11,628 luxury scarves. The ones Jer likes are $430.
Well, yeah, obviously.
Yeah. The point is, he can afford a lot of dusters and scarves.
That's amazing. The medicine.
Yeah.
That guy must be like quietly approaching $1 billion, because from everything I've ever read, he makes considerably more money with his home flipping business than he ever has acting.
Interesting. He also has that app, right? Where he convinced people to just
buy stars.
Yeah, just give him money.
I think they relaunched it.
Oh, that's awesome. We should join it.
We should join it. And we should encourage our listeners. And I know some of you might be viewers, and that's great too. You should join the app, and let's, coordinate to get Ren Dog on the show and talk about, the medicine, burritos, whatever.
Fashion, probably.
Yeah, scarves.
Well, Garrett, what other Avengers news do you have for us?
I have none, because this is music news. Recently, Tim, Gorillaz and Blur and Good, Bad, and the Queen's Damon Albarn was discussing how musicians, quote, can't hide anything when they're playing with just a piano, and criticized most current recording artists for relying mainly on, quote, sound and attitude.
I agree completely.
Excellent. When LA Times interviewer Mikhail Wood then cited that Taylor Swift is a modern example of a, quote, excellent songwriter, Albarn balked. The reporter then clarified that Taylor Swift co-writes many of her own hits, to which the self-described, quote, traditionalist Albarn replied, that doesn't count. I know what co-writing is. Co-writing is very different to writing. I'm not hating on anybody. I'm just saying there's a big difference between a songwriter and a songwriter who co-writes, end quote. Now, typically, Tim, I wouldn't bring something like this to Music News of the Weird, because I don't give a shit what Damon Albarn thinks about Taylor Swift.
Couldn't disagree more.
Interesting. Now, the part that I find fascinating is that Taylor Swift replied.
Well, she's a very big fan of Damon Albarn.
Yeah, that part is also true. Taylor Swift replied, I write all of my own songs. Your hot take is completely false and so damaging. You don't have to like my songs, but it's really fucked up to try and discredit my writing. Wow. So, Tim, this is a 32-year-old woman that has all the money in the world, all the acclaim in the world, all the fans in the world. world. Why in the holy fuck is she taking time out of her day to reply to Damon Albarn?
Because she wants to be seen as legitimate by her fellow musicians and by people who write songwriters.
So it's almost as though something about what he said resonated as true, and she felt necessary to defend herself.
Well, it triggered her. We should say that. I think that's
Now, again, this is something I don't really give a shit about. I find it fascinating when people that have everything on the planet feel like they're being attacked, and use language like your hot take is completely false and so damaging.
Yeah,
I don't think she's what damaging means?
No,
because it's words on an interview that don't affect you at all, and millions of people would do anything just to shake your hand. Like, what else do you need, Tim? I might hate Taylor Swift.
She needs Damon Albarn's respect, is what she needs.
I hope he never gives it to her. Unfortunately, I think he's already backed out. Yeah, Tim, what other frustrating news do you have?
Well, Garrett, and we have some apologies to make this week.
Doubt it.
Cardi B,
Oh shit! I saw this.
was awarded $1,250,000 in a libel lawsuit against a YouTuber for saying she was a prostitute and had contracted sexually transmitted infections. And I would like to take this moment to officially apologize to Miss B, as well as every artist featured on this show. All commentary on this show is for entertainment purposes only and bears no relationship to the truth. It is covered by the allegedly clause, and if suing must happen, Gart technically owns this whole thing. I am just an employee. I read the script Gart writes for me to read. Also, I am an alcoholic. Please do not blame me for any of my previous actions. I am drunk and I am also very poor.
Here's the good news, Tim. I am technically just an employee of this whole thing as well. Our government is such that it recognizes corporations as entities with its own agency. So we're both free and clear of the multiple cease and desist letters we have been throwing in the trash nigh on 3 years.
Excellent. Well, that should keep that whore at bay.
Oh, god damn, dude.
All right. Well, now that we're getting sued, or at least a non-Tim, non-Garrett entity is being sued, possibly Gino, what other news do you have, Garrett?
Well, Tim, in a recent interview with Jason Lee of the YouTube show Hollywood Unlocked, which premiered on Monday, January 24th, the Chicago rapper and producer, now calling himself Ye, previously Kanye, spoke out about his impending divorce and how he plans to stay in his children's lives no matter what. Did you catch any of this?
No, I caught the part where he punched a guy.
Oh yeah, that's old news.
Oh.
When the interviewer said that it shouldn't be difficult to continue raising the children despite the divorce, Kanye seemed to agree, which was good news, but then continued talking. He said, quote, and to participate without no noise, because they can go on SNL and make jokes. They can make jokes in the media. They can plant stories about whoever I'm dating, whatever they want to do. They can block deals. They can do all that type of stuff. But I'm going to tell you straight up, don't play with my kids. Kanye then continued, looking straight into the camera, don't play with my kids. Whoever y'all work for, whoever y'all think the family is working for, I'm telling you right now, don't play with my children. And it's going to be all legal. It's going to be all legal, baby.
Terrifying.
End quote.
So I imagine that he has this exact same speech for children that come over to play dates. He just sets them down. Don't play with my children. It's
fascinating.
Be all legal. Don't you play with my children.
He concluded by saying, this is what we are on. This is what time it is. I got the house right next to my children. Gangsta.
We should start ending our sentences that way. That's like a
gangsta.
Yeah, instead of saying like full stop, gangsta.
Gangsta. I don't know. It doesn't really fit us.
No, of course not.
Yeah, I guess that's true. When has that stopped us? Tim, what other weird Kanye news where he vaguely threatens people in the media do you have?
I mean, I could talk about that time he punched the guy or the threats to Pete Davidson, which are dumb.
That's all right. What other news do you have?
I don't know. I think I'm good.
All right, then I'll wrap things up with a very quick and I think still developing story. Did you hear what Adele did?
No, I did not.
So, 24 hours before it was set to begin, she just canceled her 3-month residency in Las Vegas.
Nice.
Yeah, so several unconfirmed reports state that she and her team demanded all these major renovations to Caesar's Palace that dramatically increased production costs and then also spurred several temper tantrums. The Sun is reporting that the last straw was that a pool had been constructed for the singer to basically hover above as she she sang one of her songs, but when she saw it, she burst into tears demanding that it was not nearly regal enough, I'm paraphrasing, and simply couldn't go on. But she did manage to FaceTime several of her friends in a method that I've still yet to understand. Like, where did you get their phone numbers? But she did. I saw videos, and she was very smart and thoughtful enough to encourage them to still hit up the gift shop inside Caesar's Palace as they stood around where the concert was supposed to be happening the next day. She's terrible.
Yeah. Did you see her play in Los Angeles for celebrities?
What? No.
Oh, you didn't get invited to that observatory thing?
What the fuck are you talking about?
She played.
Did the show get invited or did you get invited?
I got invited. I assumed you did too.
Did it say Timothy Richardson or Why I Hate This Album podcast? Don't lie.
Okay, it said the representative of, but that's me.
Is there a +1?
Well, I assumed you were going.
Gino.
I just went by myself. There was a
that
+1.
was our invite. You already went? It happened?
Yeah.
What was it?
She played a bunch of her songs. There was somebody came down and got engaged. It was really beautiful. Everyone was very quiet and the lights were off and she came down with a blindfold and he proposed to her, right? She didn't know anyone was there. And then all of a sudden Ellen was there and Adele started singing. Yeah, she was in the audience with us.
Oh. God damn it. God damn it.
It was a good show. It was a good show, but
that's not why. You know I want to meet Ellen.
Oh, I can introduce you to Ellen if that's all you want.
I don't believe that. You know I'm saying Ellen, right? I'm going to be fucking angry if I take a half a day off and I go and I meet some dude in a coffee shop named Alan. That's not funny. Again.
I want to be real clear because I'm kind of getting nervous here. I don't know Helen DeGeneres.
Good.
Okay.
That's what I thought. And I'm pretty sure you just called her Helen. I am almost certain I heard Helen DeGeneres. So now I am confirmed that you are a liar. Great stuff, Tim. This has been weird. All right. Now, Tim and I have had it out 3 rounds, no holds barred. I guess we barred some holds. But the album for next week has been chosen. And Tim, I will give you the honors. Well, actually, you know what? To be perfectly frank, folks, I'm going to be honest with you. The leg wrestling was just to decide who got to decide. So I honestly have no idea what he's about to say. Tim, ruin my day for me. What album am I going to be listening to for an entire week before we come back here and tell folks why we almost certainly hate it?
First of all, I just want to say, I think the strength of my thighs is not getting enough credit right now. I'm
a little sore. My hip flexor's been acting up on me.
Garrett, I sashayed around. I have a very serious pelvic injury.
That's true. That's true. You do have a serious pelvic injury allegedly caused by dancing.
Right.
Which I am not certain is the actual root cause. I think you did something and you're very embarrassed to tell me what it is.
Sometimes you dance into stuff. It doesn't matter. Well, Garrett, I had one of my characteristic changes of hearts just simply due to an email that you read. Garrett, next week we are finally gonna tackle the 70-something minute long 10,000 Days by Tool, and I am not excited about this.
I'm really not excited about this. To be perfectly frank, I have no opinion about Tool. Like, I couldn't even tell you a Tool song. It's just never been something I have any interest in.
Yeah, you've been to several concerts, though.
Sure, right. But I can go to a concert and not hear a single note.
That's fair.
I am going deaf. All right, Tim, that sounds really terrible. Like, really terrible. I want you to know you've really made this bad.
Well, I feel like your email really made this bad. You made this bad. I wasn't thinking Tool. I was thinking Parachutes or Coldplay or Yellow or whatever.
All of those things, in fact. Any predictions? You think you're going to hate it?
Probably. It's 75 minutes of prog rock.
God, is that what Tool is?
I think so. I don't know.
Oh, wouldn't it be great if I loved Tool?
Metal? Yeah, back out.
It's just 90 minutes of me singing the praises of Tool. God, I hope that's what happens.
Me too.
All right. As always, if you can, reach out to us. heypodmail@gmail.com. You are the lifeblood of this show. If we don't hear from you, we don't know if anyone's listening. And if no one's listening, what the fuck are we doing here? So please reach out. Let us know what you like, what you're into, suggestions, theories, stories about these songs, albums, artists, and I don't know, just things you may relate to. Maybe you found yourself in Spanish Harlem suddenly dancing to Rob Thomas as he sings with a much older man.
Or Havana.
I don't know. Or Havana. Unclear. We also want to hear from you on Instagram, that's HatePod, or on Twitter, that's Album HatePod. You can reach right out to me. I'm Garrett. That's G Harvey Tweets on Twitter. And I got to tell you, it is, well, it's kind of boring, honestly. I don't really get Twitter. Instagram's a lot more fun, but hey, if you want to reach out to me, I'll talk your ear off about God knows what. We've also got subreddits. We've got a Discord server that we check out from time to time. So if you want to, you can reach out to us there. Do keep emailing us. We are slowly getting through it. I think that's about it. Tim, did I leave anything out?
Nope.
For Why I Hate This Album, I have been one of your hosts, Garrett Harvey.
I have been your other host, Timothy P. Richardson. And on, today actually, January 25th, 2022, the day we are recording this, Garrett Harvey said, I can't imagine she's having an affair, but it's probably just an emotional one, so I guess that's fine. Still doing it. Still doing In Conversation to this day, despite the fact that we record like an hour of this jackass saying these horrible things every week.
I don't really like that characterization.
There's cowboys running through my dreams. Nothing's quite the way it seems. I joined the Navy, got kicked out in a week. My facial features aren't distinct. Try to find some meaning in these songs. The genius is a genius, got it wrong. No, it's a lobster murder sex thing. It's the bleaching of the rear. A full assault on both your ears. The riffs are too repetitive. The lyrics make no sense. All the songs are B-sides. The cover art's a mess. Listen to it for a week. Now that week has passed. It's the Why I Hate This Album podcast with Tim and Garrett.
That's Batman. Good boy. Calling some Wookiees. Good boy.
Those of you that have found the feed, you got a real good treat just then.
Yeah, that was
nice
adorable.
treat.